Hello, and welcome to BeyondID's Octane 20 live session, Secure and Streamlined Workforce and Customer Experiences through Modern Identity. In this session, we're going to hear or learn from our valued customers and great household brands, Discount Tire and Federal Express. We have prepared the following agenda to share Discount Tire and Federal Express's journeys with you. We begin with the introduction of the panel. We are then going to learn more about the challenges and opportunities, followed by their identity management roadmap, their deployment strategy, successes, and lessons learned, and finally, the value of right partnership in their journey. Today, I'm very excited to have Prashanth Karne of FedEx and Freddie Paseglia of Discount Tire joining me to share their stories. We are grateful to have FedEx and Discount Tire as our valued customers. I wanted to sincerely thank Prashanth and Freddie for their support in making this session possible. Hello, Prashanth. Hello, Freddie.
Hey, Arun.
Good to have you guys. Thank you very much for joining me to share your stories today. So let me take a brief moment to share with you about BeyondID. BeyondID is a cloud service management company. We help companies such as Discount Tire and Federal Express acquire, deploy, and manage identity cloud services. We offer consulting, implementation, and managed services for identity management, cybersecurity, and cloud platforms. We're proud to be Okta's Platinum Services Partner and Managed Services Provider. We have the highest number of Okta certified professionals outside of Okta, and we are also honored to have received Okta's Customer Success Award. So first, I would like to start with the introductions here, and I would love to have Prashanth share his background and more about Federal Express.
Hey guys, good morning. My name is Prashanth Karne. I'm the cybersecurity principal in FedEx. So I am responsible for providing secure authentication and access solutions to the entire FedEx workforce. My job is we work in a team called Access Engineering and Solutions. So we are all responsible for rolling out Okta and all access solutions to the enterprise. So a little background about FedEx. Our chairman, Fred Smith, once said, the information about a package is as important as the package itself. So FedEx is always a digital company, and we have so many things that we did in the late 70s and 80s. So we are not new into digital transformation. We are always a step ahead in the digital world. So we have over 500,000 workforce identities in FedEx, and my job is to provide secure access to all of the FedEx workforce partners, and to access FedEx enterprise applications in a secure manner. Back to you, Arun.
Thank you, Prashanth. Next up is Freddie.
Hello, Arun. Prashanth, hello. And hello to everyone in the audience. My name is Freddie Kazelia. I'm a member of the Enterprise Security Team at Discount Tire and lead the identity management program for the organization. As you look at the slide in front of you, you'll see it talks nothing about tires or wheels. Nonetheless, Discount Tire is the largest tire and wheel retailer in the United States. What our company is about people. And what is on the slide in front of you is our mission statement, our operating principles, and our life lessons. The mission, the principles, and the life lessons were brought to us by our founder, Mr. Holly. He believed in people and believed people were a differentiator. It's been that way for 60 years at Discount Tire, and we expect it to be that way for 60 more. We invest heavily in our people and believe that our people, through our people, will drive our high level of customer satisfaction and provide our customers with the greatest tire and wheel service and sales experience. The one item up there again that's highlighted is people. You'll hear me talk about that throughout the slide, and that we make a large investment in our people. And even as you see the mission statement, our mission statement is to make more dreams come true. Mr. Holly again encouraged us all to dream big, and every day, every Discount Tire employee puts forth the effort to demonstrate the characteristics that are on this slide, and to bring the best service to our customers. If you move to the next slide, Arun, this shows our footprint across the country. All the states that are in red is where we have a physical retail presence, and we also operate online, of course. We have an online web presence through our Discount Tire Direct, and to all our customers out there, we say thank you. Arun?
Thank you, Freddie. The next up is discussion on challenges and opportunity. Every organization has strategic goals and business drivers, and we were fortunate to have worked closely with Discount Tire and FedEx Express. The audience will benefit from learning more about their journey, and starting with the goals and strategy they've had that started with challenges and opportunity. And first up, on adding additional insight around those challenges and opportunity, we'd like to have Prashanth share his thoughts on those challenges and opportunity. Prashanth?
Hey, so the challenges that we have at FedEx is like we have so many authentication systems that we have built over for each and every point of the business. So there is not even a single solution to handle the entire enterprise for when it comes to the authentication and single sign-on. And also, we have few challenges for our partners. So our partners are not full-time employees, but they do access some of our applications in an infrequent manner. So maybe like they access a certain application once or twice in a quarter. So for those identities, like so what we were doing is like we were giving a full-scale workforce identity and also provide the network level access such as VPN so that they can securely connect to the VPN and then access the needed resources. So one of the pain point that we have in for our partners is like, and we have like 70 up to 70,000 of these partners who access applications in an infrequent manner. So every time they require access, I mean, they have to connect to the VPN, and then when you access a application once or twice in a quarter, you have to figure out like if you remember your password, and then call the help desk, and then spend at least 2 to 3 hours to be connected to the network, and then access the application. So once you are connected to the network, again, you kind of do the same thing of figuring out what is the password, and then what is the URL to the application, and as such. So we had that disjointed authentication experience for our partners and also our casual workforce. Casual workforce is like where when we have peak times, like especially during holidays, like where we hire temporary workers, and then they all have to do the same thing. So we have a bit of disjointed authentication experience over there. And so one of the things that FedEx has is like we have a huge cloud transformation, and then we have close to 500 of these major SaaS applications, and we did not have a good provisioning capability for such SaaS applications. So provisioning, deprovisioning is always a challenge at FedEx for the majority of the cloud applications. And as we are transforming into a true zero trust world, we never had a true device trust based access, like where we can do multi-factor and everything, but we had challenges in figuring out how to check the posture of the device before the user is provided or granted access. So those were our challenges that we faced at FedEx. Back to you, Arun.
Thank you, Prashanth, for those insights. Very valuable, insightful. Next up is the challenges and opportunities by Discount Tires. Ready?
Hi, thanks, Arun. For us, one of the few items for us around identity monetization and challenges is we wanted to create a single, a personal experience for our users. Um, a lot of that today is tied to our training system, so that specifically in our store, when our store employees access our learning system, that they receive targeted education and training, so that it helps them become more proficient in the area of responsibility they have in the store, and then allows them to master that and move on to another area of responsibility in the store. Additionally, from a user experience, probably the most common ask that I have in the organization is around either same or single sign-on. So we're consistently and constantly trying to tie in more applications to the identity platform to bring a better user experience in terms of reduced credentials. We're also seeking to improve operational efficiency in IT. Anything that can be automated, we automate it in terms of application assignment so that we don't have to do that manually. We're also always trying to incrementally improve the organization's security posture. We've done that recently with some features from Okta, such as their password toggle and threat insights. And we're also trying to gain insight into our people's behavior. And here it's sort of twofold. One, we're beginning to look at how people access applications, whether it's on or off network, mobile devices, or through a browser, so that we can understand any changes we want to make, what that impact might be to our people. Additionally, we now have within our stores greater confidence of who's signed into a system, and for those individuals that really do well navigating through an app, we're starting to be able to reach out to those individuals and understand why they're doing so well, typically gain insight that we're able to bring to the rest of the organization. And then lastly, the organization has begun to move towards mobile applications within the store environment, and that has now, for us, moved our identity from just being inside the store, but into the parking lot, and create some challenges and opportunities for us. Thank you. Arun?
Thanks, Freddie. That's very insightful as well. For every of these challenges and opportunities, what we will discuss next is the roadmap to meeting those challenges and opportunities, and the goals and initiative each organization have. And in our experiences, the roadmap is critical, especially on what Prashanth and Freddie shared around the overall approach being very user-centric, and what the users need to do to be more productive, and how you remove friction. So, and this is a roadmap that is not something that is achievable overnight. It's something that goes on for quite some time, and it's an ongoing. And so what we'd like us to do next is to share those roadmap, what that look like. And first off, the sharing of roadmap by Prashanth on Federal Express. So, Prashanth?
Yeah, so with all the challenges that we have seen about the casual workers and our partner access, so we almost came to a decision that we need to have a dedicated identity and access management system for our casual workers and partners, so that we shouldn't be taking hours to provide access for our casual workforce. So basically going with a consumer style of registration. So our identity roadmap is to allow our casual workers to go through a simple registration process, and then get through some of the approvals from the HR side or the business side. And then as soon as the approvals are done, then the identity is established for our casual workforce. And it's a matter of providing access to the already existing federated applications within FedEx. So the registration process and the process to acquire access to the application should be all self-service, and we shouldn't be subjecting the users to go through calls to help desk or any sort of help guidance. So our goal is to have everything put in front of our users so that they can go with self-service and then acquire access within minutes, but not in hours. And also, all of our partners and casual workforce, they should be ready to do multi-factor authentication if required. So we also thought of having the full-fledged zero trust model applicable for even for our casual workforce and our partners. And the any kind of application access that these casual workers and partners require, they shouldn't be subjected to any of the requirements with our internal identity stores as LDAP or Active Directory, and there shouldn't be any dependency on the network access whatsoever. So that like a user who wants to access the application might take a couple of minutes or 2 to 5 minutes to request all such access and go through the registration and immediately start accessing the application. So one of also we thought about like we know who our partners are. So what we did is like probably we would speed up the registration process for our partners. Like if you are coming from managed service programs or even like if from the BeyondID team, like if they want to access our applications as part of our engagement, then we can quickly put them to the test and then get the access in a matter of minutes. Back to you, Arun.
That's great, Prashanth. Thanks for sharing that. It's certainly great to see how you're focused on really helping streamline the experiences of users and onboarding registration all the way to how they're accessing the digital assets you have to really help improve that productivity of your workforce. Next up on the identity roadmap, let's hear from Freddie about how Discountier is approaching the overall roadmap. Freddie?
Yes, thank you. So from a roadmap perspective, these are a few of the items that are on our plate, so to speak, here this year. We're continuing to try to create a single logical view of an employee identity. So for myself, I am workforce focused. We're focused on our people, and part of the identity solution is to know what applications a user has been assigned to and what role they have in that application. So that's one of the initiatives we have staked out for us. The other one, which is clearly as important, is enhanced lifecycle management. So that's all around the joiner, mover, leaver business processes. We are tied into our HR system to receive real-time updates when anyone joins the company, moves within the organization, or leaves the company. And then the intent, or one of the responsibilities of the identity platform, is to process that, of course, in real time, and then pass that down to any connected application. One of the challenges for us has been around terminations, and we're in the process of readying a deployment where we've made use of Okta's workflow feature to enhance the termination and leaver process. We've also recently put a little more effort into privileged account management, and we're making use of the Okta platform to tie into a third-party password vault so that those individuals that need access to accounts that have greater levels of functional authority are done so now more securely and in a more defined process. And then back to the sign-on experience. This is probably one of the items that continues to challenge us, but it's also part of our roadmap, is how to make the experience for our store, specifically our store employees, as easy and simple as can be. The workstations in the store are shared, and we want to provide our users with a personal experience that creates some friction for us. And we're actually in flight right now trying to figure out how best to do that, specifically on mobile devices, so that the store employees are able to sort of sign in once, get to all their apps while they're on the mobile device, and then sign out and hand that to another associate. So those are just a few of the major items on our roadmap here in 2020. Arun, thank you.
All right, Freddie, that was very helpful. Thank you. And it's great to see the identity roadmap. Although we call it identity roadmap, looks like in what we have experienced working with you closely, most of the effort has been all about really improving the experiences and really helping the workforce to be productive, while the overall cybersecurity identity is so integral part of it. So now let's talk next about the what it takes to make the reality out of the identity roadmap. And we'd love to hear from Prashanth and Freddie about their deployment strategies and working very closely with them. We learned a lot working together with them. We've learned a lot as well. And the deployment strategy in terms of what we advise our customers in going, either you go fast as you like, or you want to take a crawl, walk, and run strategy. I mean, all those strategies are help as long as that matches your business objectives and timeline established. So let's learn from both Prashanth and Freddie about how they have deployed those strategies to ensure usually successful deployment. So the first up is Prashanth sharing his deployment strategy at Federal Express. Prashanth?
So the first thing that we decided is like not to get their partners and also casual workers into our workforce tenant. So we came up with a concept of partner portal, a complete dedicated Okta tenant, so that like we can have the registration process and everything enabled for not at our workforce tenant level, but at a dedicated tenant level that we are calling as partner portal. So once a user, we will redirect all our users to go to our partner portal and then have them register. And in some cases, like we have whitelisting established based upon email domains. So we know like they are, we have a pretty good partnership with a lot of companies, and then we will whitelist their email domains and have them go through the registration process and verify their account, because we will be sending the verification, Okta will be sending the verification email to their registered email address. So once they have their email registered, the way we provide access to applications which are in our workforce tenant is via Okta's Okta SAML Federation. So what that allows is like to have a end user register at a complete different isolated Okta tenant, but still be able to access a federated application which exists in our workforce tenant without going through any complicated identity related transformation. So it is a straightforward, it works exactly like how it works with a normal Okta tenant. So user would log in to the partner portal, and then it is also a regular Okta tenant. So they will see all their applications that they are eligible for. And then from there, anything that they click on will be a seamless federated access to a different tenant where the application is federated with. So that enabled us a very quick win, where a lot of our partners and casual workforce, when they start their first day, they have all their access in the first hour itself, or maybe in the first 30 minutes or so. So that is the deployment strategy that when that we went with. And then also, we don't have to provide any network level access to our casual workforce because Okta is internet facing, and then we have multi-factor enabled. So it provides that secure solution to our casual workforce and partners where they don't have to be connected to the FedEx network, or they don't even have to have a HR mastered identity from FedEx. So we quickly stood this deployment up, and then that enabled a lot of positive results in the first couple of weeks itself. Back to you, Freddie.
Okay. Excuse me. So from a deployment strategy at Discount Tire, again, we've been workforce focused. We deployed our Okta tenant or solution in 2017. We are a Workday as a master connected or integrated solution. From a landscape perspective, when we went live at that time, Workday provisions into Okta, and then Okta provisions down to Active Directory. Since then, we have deployed a second Okta tenant that acts as a retail tenant. So after a user is provisioned into the Okta Enterprise tenant and provisioned down to AD, there's an org-to-org connection over to retail, and then anyone that's entitled to a retail application is provisioned there. In 2018, we deployed Okta Verify as the enterprise MFA for the organization, pushed that out to all our employees, basically as a flip the switch, probably one of the most anxious nights we had, but we went ahead and set it up so that once a user went to authenticate to any application mastered or governed by Okta, they had to enroll and set up MFA. And we've been using that since December of 2018. Some things we've been bringing to our store folks from a milestone deployment perspective is a workforce scheduling tool. So now our store associates can go online or through a mobile app can find out what their work schedule is in the next week. That is all integrated to the Okta platform. And coming soon as part of that will be the capability for our store employees to communicate directly with their manager for either time off or shift changes. Back again, we're talking about store mobility. We've deployed, or we're in a pilot within our stores around an application that the store employee will use when they go out and visit a customer's vehicle or while they're doing an air check. We have a simple way for the user to log in to that Okta application, which you'll see on the next screen when I get to that. That's been a big success. And then our learning management system. This is a integration we work with BeyondID on, and we now have real-time joiner, mover, leaver data moving from our HR system through Okta and then into our learning system, so that system is always up to date on what role an employee has in the organization, what store they're in, and therefore the learning system in turn can provide them with targeted training and education material. If we slide to the next slide, Arun.
More about your deployment strategies. And what we find is that we're excited to be working with you to see all the successes and ongoing successes. So speaking of that, there are always great successes as well as some lessons learned from your journey working over the period of time. We'll love you to share that next, and we'll start with Prashanth and what he's learned and what successes he's had, a little bit more double clicking on that topic. So Prashanth?
Yeah. So the first thing that we did for having the solution developed for our casual workforce and partners is to distinguish like who is a partner, who is a workforce identity, and who is a casual workforce. So this all happened before Okta announced the user types. So we exactly did like what Okta built today, the user type. So with our partnership with BeyondID, what we did is like we sourced our all our casual workforce and our partners, and then found a way to brand them within Okta, whether the user is a full-time employee or a contingent worker or a partner or someone like a casual workforce. That's the first thing that we did through that registration process, and then the federation between our workforce Okta tenant and the partner portal Okta tenant. So with that, everything was pretty straightforward. We had developed the registration flow, and then we had that some of the email domains whitelisted so that they don't have and we don't want to open the registration to the entire internet. So we allow only the registrations from that whitelist. And then with that, we could establish the SAML federation between workforce identity and the partner portal, and then eventually a end user who is sitting on a public internet, and then they will go through the registration process, and then they will go and request access to certain applications from the external partner portal, and then that will go through some level of approval workflows with the business teams. And once the access request has been approved, then it's all ready. And then what we've seen is like it's a very rapid deployment type where we can provide a secure authentication to our casual workforce, even with multi-factor enrollment and such. And we don't have to, the biggest win that we see is we don't have to provide any network level access, and they don't have to be in our workforce and go through our HR IT systems to be registered as a FedEx workforce. So timing is of the essence, speed to the market. We could deliver solution in a very less time. And then also the application access between our workforce and our partner portal tenant, they all go through open standard SAML based federation. So we are of course like concerned about security, like if we have to provide such a level of access via public internet without using non-HR mastered identities. But we did a very thorough testing, and then BeyondID helped us in wiring or in plugging up things between various systems, the registration process, the approval workflow process, the application catalog where a user can go and request, and of course the entire SAML federation between the workforce tenant and the partner portal tenant. With that, like the most success that we've seen is like the business teams who required this level of access, they are pretty happy. And then we have a lot of people started using this system in the first week itself. And then the biggest win for us is the time. Now, earlier it used to take like more over close to a week or two to for a particular partner or casual workforce to gain access into FedEx systems. But now we are taking maybe 20 to 30 minutes to have that user start working and do his job without wasting any time. Back to you, Freddie.
Okay. So in the past year, we can share with you two success stories we had working with BeyondID. The first one is a custom login page on our Okta retail tenant. What we did on that page, we had a requirement from our business that when the store user got to the logon page and went to touch either the username field or the password field, they wanted a 10-key keypad presented to the users. They wanted no alpha characters. Initially, some of us kind of thought that was a skeptical request, but this was a good lesson learned on my part, and then where BeyondID was able to help us rapidly develop and deploy. We went from concept to deployment of that keypad on that login page within 30 days. So that page, we created a custom page that's hosted on our Okta tenant. That page then has code behind it that recognizes when the user is coming from a mobile device, and the the BeyondID team helped actually wrote that code so that the user is presented with an easy way to log in. And that really kind of goes to Arun's comment before around business value. This was a requirement from our business team, and as a critical feature for them, as one can imagine, we have a large workforce in the stores, and anything we can do to make that frictionless for them is beneficial. The other project BeyondID's worked with us on in the past year is around our learning system. You've heard me talk a lot about learning today. It is really important at Discount Tire. We have a learning as part of our Discount Tire University umbrella. It's where all our store associates go to get educated and able to get promoted and move throughout the organization. We had a in-house custom developed integration that we wanted to retire, and BeyondID worked with us to develop a SCIM and OPP connection. So now when anybody joins, moves, or leaves the company, that information is passed real time from our HR system through the identity platform out to our learning system. An additional benefit of this integration that BeyondID helped us with is the integration contains more attributes than the in-house custom developed solution. So it provides additional information to the learning and development team that they're able to act upon and use and use. So that was another great example. Two things I'd probably like to also mention there is I think both of those show where BeyondID is able to help a customer, with custom. So while we don't like to do too much customization, we all know it is always part of always be part of a solution. And we went ahead and customized the login page, and BeyondID helped us with that. And then the user lifecycle management with the learning system, that's where we're leveraging SCIM as a standard, and that's really important to us because it helps us be prepared for any upgrades in the future, and stay away from customization where it's not necessary. In general, the lessons I've learned here in identity is, you tend to always be able to solve things technically. The bigger challenge is a process change, so always be aware of that. And for us, we can never do enough testing because whenever we deploy a new solution, it's really important we never cause disruption in our stores because we know all our store employees are standing in front of customers, and we need not to put any disruption into that process. Those are the successes and lessons we've learned here throughout our identity journey. Arun?
Thank you, Freddie and Prashanth. It was very good to see all the successes you've had, and continue to really add value back to your business. And very excited to be part of that journey. And I know you had talked about the custom login experience. Maybe you want to share a little bit of what this information is about.
Sure. So this is the numeric keypad that we work with BeyondID on. And then when you kind of look at that picture, it appears simple, and again, it was both a technical achievement and a lesson learned. So right on the left side, as you face the screen, is the standard Okta sign-in username and password, and on the right side, now if one of our employees in the store touches the username or password field, that numeric keypad pops up. And for our store employees and really for our store management, that was considered one of the greatest things we could deliver. Again, it just makes it simple for our people to log in and not have to kind of migrate from the QWERTY keyboard, if you will, to the numeric keyboard. So thanks for bringing that back and showing that, Arun. And again, that's both was a deliverable achievement for us and a lesson learned on really listening to your business partner and understanding what's important to them. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Freddie. All right, next up, in every journey, it's important to have the right platform and solution, but also I believe it's important to have that partnership and finding the right partnership. And it's been a privilege and honor to have worked with both Prashanth and Freddie in that journey. So I want Freddie and Prashanth to share a little bit more about that and what it meant having the right partnership in place to achieving what it is in an ongoing journey around identity and zero trust security. So first up is Prashanth. Please share your thoughts here.
Yeah, so one unique thing about our FedEx environment is rapidly changing use cases and rapidly changing requirements. So what BeyondID provided us is like no matter like where we provided the requirements, but we keep on changing our requirements because when we are going back and working with our business partners, so we have to treat our internal customers who are our business partners and application owners, collect the feedback and then come back. And then when we presented a lot of changes to the BeyondID, I was pretty much impressed like when BeyondID took everything as a challenge. And also one thing which helped our partnership is the level of access that BeyondID had to Okta. So when we had questions, they always went directly to the product management and the project management at Okta. And then we jumped on a call and then we got the required answers in a very short time. And that partnership with Okta, BeyondID's partnership with Okta provided a lot of value addition to FedEx when we reached out to BeyondID saying that, hey, we would like to, there is an emerging situation. And then all of that partner portal thing, I mean, it just started as over a meeting with them, and then they quickly came up with the wire diagrams and then architecture, and then we quickly thought like, I mean, it all looks good, and then we went ahead, and then in a couple of weeks or so, we have seen promising results in our lower environments, and then we immediately went to production. And the level of technical knowledge that the resources from BeyondID has, and the level of access they have to Okta resources is pretty amazing. And as I said, like we built the Okta user types before even Okta announced to the general public. So that's the same exact thing that we did with our partnership with BeyondID, basically looking at a particular user identity and quickly identifying whether that user identity belongs to workforce, casual workforce, or partners. And that is not an easy task because we have a pretty complex identity system within FedEx where not every identity attribute exists in one single identity store. So we have to go and refer to more than two identity stores to figure out what type of a user is that. And even that, making a lot of adjustments at the API level and to the configuration, it helped us tremendously. And I give credit to BeyondID for helping us with all of our needs for the FedEx enterprise.
Thank you, Freddie. Thank you, Prashanth, for your thoughts there, and appreciate all the kind words. So next up, with some words from Freddie on Discount Tire and our partnership.
Yes, thank you. So for us, we've been very pleased with our relationship with BeyondID. Again, starting off here on the slide, what was very helpful to us is that BeyondID brings a very standards-based development lifecycle to your organization. Of course, they're tremendously versed in the Okta platform. We too, just as Prashanth, alluded to and stated how he was able to leverage the resources within BeyondID that have tremendous technical depth of the Okta solution. We have done the same. We've have some other projects we haven't talked about today where the BeyondID team is acting as subject matter experts for us around mobility and some other areas. So for us, I would say we always started with use cases when we first began to work with BeyondID on both the 10-key project and our LMS project. Everything started with use cases. We like that approach because we believe that helps drive very clear requirements, and then subsequent design and development. I would say there's always an availability. We're always in contact with one another, and for me, from my perspective, I just consider BeyondID, tremendous subject matter experts in identity and access management, and that is really critical for us in our organization. We're a small team from a personnel perspective, and it's really important that we have a partner like BeyondID that can help us deliver and meet our business demands. Arun?
Freddie, appreciate your kind words and the great partnership we have. So with that said, thank you very much, Prashanth and Freddie, for joining the session today and sharing your outstanding journeys with the audience. It has been our pleasure and honor to partner with you and support you with your identity management and zero trust security journey. I sincerely appreciate your time and valuable insight that I believe our audience will be able to leverage and apply in their own journeys ahead. With that, I also want to thank our valued partner, Okta, for giving us the opportunity to sponsor the Okta in 20 Live and making this session possible. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, everyone.